5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm John, and tonight I want answers about diabetes. There's no stopping us now because we're live.
John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers. Give John answers. John wants answers. John wants answers. Give John answers now.
Check your calendar. If it says May 8th, 2014, then we are live. You're watching a brand new episode. Hey, this weekend is Mother's Day. Don't forget to honor your mother. My guest tonight is Keith Stattenfield. He's the host of Keith Explains.
Yes.
Another great show on this channel.
Well, a great show on this channel.
Um,
Another's a value judgment about this show.
This show is award-winning, as you saw in the opening credits.
I did, yeah.
Yes. Your show's on Wednesdays at 8:30.
It is.
So last
I'm
night.
told. I've never seen it on Wednesdays at 8:30.
You're my guest tonight because you're a news junkie,
I am.
history buff,
Yes.
philosophy major,
Yes.
and we couldn't get anyone better.
That's usually the most. I don't know why you don't read that part first.
It's extra true tonight because I really did try to get someone better.
I would try every time.
Okay. If you've never seen the show before,
And you haven't.
this show is like a courtroom drama. I'm the prosecutor, my guest is the expert witness, and you at home are the jury. It's your job to convict or acquit the topics.
Have you ever been in a real courtroom? Like with an actual prosecutor?
No.
And
No, I
I
have
think
not.
that's why you think this show is like a courtroom drama.
I've seen it
You've
on Law and
only
Order.
ever seen them on TV.
Yeah.
And this is on TV. So you think this is like a courtroom drama.
I've heard this is like a kangaroo court.
That's closer than courtroom drama, yes.
This is a dramatization of a kangaroo court.
This is two idiots talking in front of a desk,
Yes,
is what this is.
I've never denied that. That's half true. Okay, we will be taking your tweets because we're live. So you can tweet us at John Wants Answer. There's no S on the end because the S is for suck and we do not. If you don't like Twitter, and I don't blame you, kind of sucks, you can go to our website, johnwantsanswers.com, and there's a contact link there. Click it, write us a message, hit send, and we're going to take your messages as if they were tweets, but they can be longer.
Why don't you say we're going to take your tweets as if they were messages? Why do you always start with Twitter if you hate it?
It's a good way to lead into the website.
But
I'm trying to trick them.
I would pimp
Go to the
website.
website.
I mean, do you have Google Ads on the website? At least you can make
No.
money there.
I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
What?
My days of having Google Ads, I think, are
Oh,
over.
that's unfortunate
Perhaps.
for you.
There's a story in the news. On the Move,
On the move.
a show that is made, produced in this studio, celebrated their 400th episode. The San Jose Mercury News reported that on April 28th, they created or celebrated their 400th episode.
That's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
This is my 49th episode. Oh, it's a season 4 finale. So please call KMVT Television Studios and pressure them to renew our show. So you can see on our set here, On the Move property, do not touch. So here's the story. I told the story before, but it's worth repeating
Yeah,
tonight.
because you didn't see it before.
Yes, because you haven't seen the show before.
Yeah.
Like a decade ago,
Yeah.
we were making a show here.
We were.
We were doing your show, Keith Explains, that's helping out.
Uh-huh.
And we're doing a show called What's Up With That?
Yeah.
And we take props out of the storeroom, crap, whatever else. And there would be, these things would be in the back, in the prop room. And it would say, On the Move property, do not touch. And I kept on telling the producer of these shows, it'd be hilarious if you put this on the set with that sign showing.
Every time.
Every time. And they'd be like, no, John, that's crazy, come
crazy,
on.
yeah.
So then I said, I'm going to get my own show
Yes.
and have this on the back, and it'll be hilarious.
Every time.
And it is hilarious. So we stole their sets. That's the reason why I have this show.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I
just-
knew there was a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a good reason, but I
Yeah.
knew there was a reason.
So On the Move, they're produced by Donna Yeager.
Yeah,
We have a control room named after a Jaeger.
we do.
What's
There
Jaeger?
was a former producer,
Which Jaeger is on the control room?
Don Yeager.
Don and Donna?
No, maybe not.
Um,
If only one of us could go look.
I'm sure someone in the control room is screaming out a name. We can't hear it though.
We can't hear it because of that thick glass.
I wanted to say Chuck Yeager, but he was like an Air Force guy.
Yeah, Air Force guy.
Yeah. Have you seen an episode of On the Move?
I have. I've helped in an episode of On the Move.
Really?
Yeah, a
They've
long
never
time
asked
ago.
me to help. They used to be
It was
out
a
of
long time
Cupertino.
ago. Yeah, I think it was at Cupertino.
Yeah. We used to do our show back there in the old days
We
before
did.
Cupertino kicked us out.
Yeah.
The website needs a lot of work. I went to the website. It airs in Cupertino on TCI channel 26.
Wow.
And in San Jose on TCI channel 34A.
Yeah. It's
Fun fact,
not on either of those channels.
TCI has not existed since 1999. Which seems recent memory, but when you do the math, it's like 15 years.
Yes.
So they have not updated their website in 15 years.
Or they just got it wrong.
And
I mean, I don't think they had a website 15 years ago.
I don't know. Well,
So it's been wrong
I
the
can't
whole
believe
time.
they've added it.
They just
in-
who if you don't
And
live
San
in,
Jose Mercury News reprinted that verbatim. You'd think San Jose
they
Mercury
don't fact
News
check.
would
There-
know.
There are no fact
that there is no
checkers.
team.
There's no fact
Anyways.
checking anymore.
I did the fact checking Fridays 5:30 on this channel. What channel is this? 15?
Yes.
Okay. 15.
What's the cable system?
Comcast?
Oh, good guess.
No, it's not. What do you mean a cable system?
Well, so you don't know.
Good news. This show is being seen more and more than before. So, our good friend Josh Young. That was not meant to be hilarious.
Yeah, but somehow it was.
Our good friend Josh Young is working at the station in Gilroy, and so he got me on their schedule.
Yeah, I've
Three
been on Gilroy.
times
I've been
a
on
week.
Gilroy for years.
I know 3 times a week they're playing me
They
down
don't have
there.
a lot of shows.
And so they said, "Hey, why don't you upload your show to this syndication thing? I think it's called Telview or something."
Yeah, tell
So I did, and now stations in Vermont have decided to accept my terms,
Wow.
which means maybe they're playing me, and Mid-Peninsula, like Palo Alto, and maybe more. So we're,
Impressive.
yes, we're getting shown places. This show could not be made possible without the previous financial backing of Lisa Tamaki
Tamaki.
and Brian Westphal.
Fall.
They're not here tonight, so
not.
next month's episode may not be thanks to their generosity.
Well, they could pay you any time.
Yeah, they usually don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're deadbeaty.
They're fine people. I gotta say nice things because it might.
Because they
in the
paid
future,
for
they-
this one. But next month you can say whatever you want.
All right, our first case, diabetes.
The music is always very creepy. Because I mean, it's unclear where it comes from.
There's like this
Yeah.
black space,
Yeah.
and sound comes out of it. We don't know if there's a piano player trapped up there.
I can't see that high into the rafters, but that's always been my thought.
Yeah. Do you know anybody with diabetes?
I do.
Who?
My father has diabetes,
Oh,
and Aaron at work has diabetes, and
I don't know, Aaron. Do I?
one of my nephew's girlfriends has diabetes.
Oh man.
It's rampant.
Wow. So, I've been saying diabetes,
Yes.
but Wilford Brimley, the official spokesperson for diabetes,
I don't think he is.
diabetes.
Yeah, Wilford Brimley says a lot of things that may or may not be correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just because I went on the internet on YouTube and Googled Wilford Brimley diabetes,
Yeah.
and he's just on there going diabetes.
Well, I think that
People
was
made
probably,
remixes.
that's probably edited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is diabetes?
It's a disease. It's a metabolic disease
Uh huh.
where the body doesn't have great control over the sugar levels in the bloodstream, and that causes a bunch of problems.
Are there
And
different?
it's diabetes.
Okay. Are there different types of diabetes?
There are. There are 2 big ones that they talk about. There's type 1,
Uh-huh.
which generally is diagnosed pretty young. Used to be called juvenile diabetes.
That means only young people get it.
Well, primarily you'd get it when you were young, and you'd have it the rest of your life.
Okay. Once you get it, you got it.
Right now, once you get it, you got it.
Okay.
And type 1 is where the body generally doesn't produce enough insulin, or doesn't produce insulin correctly, or doesn't produce it in correct levels compared to the sugar in the bloodstream.
So what is insulin?
Insulin's a hormone that causes all the cells in the body to suck sugar out of the blood and store it.
Okay, and so you need that to
You need
to
that
live.
because when you eat, a bunch of, your intestines crack all the food you've eaten up, primarily into sugars. And starch, starches get cracked up into sugars, and they get sucked through the walls of your intestine, and they end up in your bloodstream, and they just float around until cells suck them in. And so after you eat, if your body didn't do anything in particular, the level of sugar in your blood would go way up because there's a bunch of sugar that just got stuck in. And then over the next 5 or 8 hours, it would slowly dwindle off as the cells used, pulled a little sugar out of your bloodstream and used it.
Okay.
And insulin is a chemical that your body, I think your pancreas releases, and it makes all the cells in your body suck a bunch of sugar in that they don't need right away, and then they store it in each cell to be used over the next couple hours.
Okay.
So the goal is there should be a relatively stable level of sugar in your bloodstream, and insulin is what causes your cells to do that.
So if you have type 1 diabetes,
So you have type 1, you don't produce insulin, or you don't produce enough, or
you
you don't
gotta
produce it correctly.
stick needles and stuff.
And
in.
generally they have to either inject themselves with insulin. It used to be, if you're type 1 diabetic, after you ate, you have to give yourself an insulin shot.
After you ate, every time?
Pretty much every time.
Wow. That's a lot of holes in your body.
You'd get good at it. But yeah,
Do you reuse the same hole over and over again?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
These days they have insulin pumps where they actually implant a pump inside your body. And after you eat, you use like a remote control or a cell phone
Call
to
yourself.
control it and tell it to release a certain amount of insulin.
Okay.
That's type 1.
That's type 1. Now we have type
That's comparatively rare compared to type 2.
Okay.
Type 2 is your body produces insulin, but the cells and everything stop reacting to it as well.
And what's the cause of that?
Well, there's probably a bit of a genetic cause to that. Also, in a sense, aging. As you get older, everything works a little less well. And they think if you have a lifestyle where you eat a lot of sugar, just progressively every day, eating all that sugar damages a little bit the mechanisms in your body that try to control your sugar level. And at some point, you've kind of passed a tipping point where you can't quite control it as well as you need to. And then it's just a positive feedback loop, right? You got a little too much sugar, so it damages your cells a little, and then you can't lower it as fast. So now you got sugar for longer, and you do a little more damage, and at some point you end up with what they call type 2 diabetes.
I drink a lot of soda.
Does it have sugar in it?
It has high fructose corn syrup.
That's sugar?
That's the same thing? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh, so I'm not going to get around it. So I should.
No, sorry.
I should lay off the
You should.
soda a little bit.
Yeah. Seaweed. Have you thought of roasted seaweed?
People say it tastes great,
Yeah.
but it sounds really bland and terrible. I would never want to try it.
No, it's salted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Salted roasted seaweed.
Well, salt is not good for diabetes, is it?
No, that's not good for high blood pressure.
Oh, high blood pressure.
That's it. It's fine for diabetes.
Bad for something.
Yeah.
So if you had diabetes and you didn't treat it, what would
eventually
happen to you?
Die.
You die?
Yeah, eventually.
Well, we all die eventually. I mean,
Well, we do, but you die earlier.
how do you die?
Worse off.
like what are the symptoms of
So,
your...
diabetes has a couple things. As the sugar level in your bloodstream is elevated, your kidneys pull stuff out of your bloodstream, put it in your bladder, so you can urinate and get it out of your body. But if you have more sugar in your bloodstream, some of that gets pulled out into your kidneys into your bladder. Your kidneys can't work as well, so they don't pull stuff out of your bloodstream as well. You have to pee more because your body is dumping more water into your bladder to keep the osmotic equilibrium appropriate across the barrier. It's also bad for your eyes. Some of the blood vessels in your eyes, in particular, are damaged by having higher levels of sugar in your bloodstream.
My eyesight's getting better. I just had a eye doctor appointment Monday. Does that mean
Okay.
I'm not diabetic?
I'm not a medical professional.
Okay.
Diabetes damages your nerve system. So a lot of diabetics have foot problems, in part because it damages their circulatory system. So blood doesn't get to their extremities and doesn't get back as well.
So I've heard.
And it
a lot
also
of-
damages their nerves. They don't notice injuries they have.
So I've heard a lot of diabetics, not a lot, but people sometimes get amputated.
Yeah, some of their foot gets amputated because they won't have quite enough blood going to their feet, and their nerves will get damaged. They won't realize they've hurt themselves or something. If they do get hurt, they don't heal as well because, again, the blood's not flowing as well. And so you'll get an infection or you'll get gangrene, it'll set in, and eventually the only thing they can do is amputate the foot.
That sucks.
And fingers too. And also it damages your kidneys just because they're doing a lot more work to pull stuff out.
Right. Is there any cure for diabetes?
For type 1, no. In a sense, I mean, if you get an insulin pump and you're pretty good about measuring things, you can keep your blood insulin levels about where they ought to be.
Right.
And so in a sense, you're steady state. You know, you're no
You can manage
better, you
your
can manage
disease.
it.
Yeah.
For type 2, primarily they say lose weight. Say if you're obese, you're a lot more hurt by diabetes. So get to an appropriate weight for your body, for your height and body proportions. Exercise more, because exercise just in general makes, you know, your circulation gets a little better.
So if you have type 2, if you just exercise, can you get rid of your type 2?
Well, they would never say you got rid of it. They would say you have it controlled.
Do type 2 people need
and so
insulin as well? Or is
type
that-
2 people generally don't need insulin. They have some, other drugs that they take that either make the insulin they have work better or cause them to make a little more insulin or make their body react better to the insulin that they are still generating, depending on which variant of type 2 you have.
Okay.
And then there's a type 3
Type 3.
called gestational diabetes, which pregnant women get.
Okay.
Just because of all the changes their bodies go through when they're pregnant. Some women, during the pregnancy, essentially develop diabetes, right, where their body isn't controlling their blood sugar well, but it goes away after, after
So it's a
they
temporary.
give birth.
A little temporary diabetes.
Some women, in that case, actually continue to have it after they've given birth, and then they're just someone who you say developed type 2, but if it goes away after they give birth and their blood sugars return to normal, then they call it type 3 gestational diabetes.
Okay. Well, we've got to stop for a break now.
Good Lord.
So soon. So when we come back, we're going to be taking your tweets and we're going to learn more about diabetes. Okay.
What's with a hat?
What do you mean what's with that? It's a hat. Hey, if I put on these sunglasses,
Yes?
do I look like one of the Blues Brothers? I like that. What are the names? They're like Elwood and
Jake and Elwood.
Jake.
Yeah.
Now, are they Blues Brothers because they're two guys who like the blues, or are they the sons of Mr. and Mrs. Blues?
It's the first one, not
They're-
the second one.
So their actual name isn't Blues.
Correct.
Okay.
Could have been.
Well, I know they're actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's Dan Aykroyd and
Jim Belushi.
John Belushi.
John Belushi, yeah. Well, no, didn't Jim Belushi play a third Blues Brother later?
Did he? There's only.
Second movie.
Yeah, in the second movie.
I heard he wasn't in the second movie.
Well,
What
I
did he say
could be
he was?
wrong. I didn't watch
I've
the
never
second
seen it.
movie.
We should go watch that movie sometime.
That first movie was great.
I heard the first one's good. I remember.
First one's good,
I
yeah.
did watch it in the '80s when I was a young boy,
Yes.
and I remember the only thing from the movie I remember is that the two guys kept on saying to the nuns or whatever, "We're on a mission from God." Yeah, that's the catchphrase.
To everyone they said that.
You think we got tweeted?
No, I don't. Again, tweeting requires viewers.
Oh man, we should be. Maybe we got a tweet saying, "Sorry, your thing isn't online."
If we weren't on airplane mode,
I'm
No,
not in
no, no,
airplane
you
mode.
can
That's
turn
for you
Wi-Fi
suckers.
on. You can turn Wi-Fi on.
All right, inbox.
just
Blank.
If we had video,
Wow, this is a sad state of affairs.
It's a sad state. It's a sad state, and it's such an important show tonight.
It is.
I mean, as opposed to normal,
Normally we talk
when
about
it's
crap
not an important
and we have
show.
lies, but this time we have like a real.
Maybe we've stunned them. Maybe we've stunned our audience.
Who's the name in the control room? The Jaeger. Did you hear?
Who's the Jaeger in the control room? Don is the Jaeger.
It is Don.
It is Don.
See, I thought it was Don.
But
No, you
Don is
didn't.
Don.
I thought it was Don,
I thought
and
it
you
was-
were like Don and Donna. That's crazy.
Yeah, see, because it's not like they got their names after they married.
No.
Don and Donna would have to met.
Don is the guy in the control room, but
Yeah.
they believe that Donna is his daughter.
Daughter.
Wow.
No. Donna, I looked up on her because she's a producer. She moved here. Wait.
She's the daughter of Don. That's what the director's saying.
Oh, interesting. The daughter, because she's 50
Well,
something.
that could be, because
56.
Don was old.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're back. And we're going to take your tweets.
Well, we've been here
Wait.
the whole time.
We should, yeah, we've been here the whole time. You went and got a soda.
Yeah.
I hope it's not full of sugar. Too much. I
Hopefully.
mean, if you're drinking soda, drink it in moderation. Because you don't want the type 2 diabetes.
You don't. It's not good.
Then you'll need to exercise
And stop drinking soda.
and stop drinking soda.
And so you may as well just stop drinking soda. I pretty much stopped drinking soda.
You did?
I did. Years ago, because it's full of sugar.
You used to drink.
And it makes me fat.
You used to drink soda before the show.
I did. Well,
Yeah.
on rare occasions, I'll have soda during the show.
Oh. You have
Like I
coffee
used to have
now.
like 3 or 4 of them at work a day. I don't do that.
Oh.
I have coffee.
You had to pay for sodas at Apple, didn't you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So that's real dedication to
That
the cause.
That was dedication to the cause.
Okay. So we've checked our messages and our tweets, and the
Check-
internet must be broken
That's yeah.
because I don't see any tweets or emails, and I can't believe
It's crazy.
no one would want to tweet us.
I can believe that. That's
find it
not
hard to
even
believe.
That's not even difficult to believe.
So yes. So back to my questions. I'll try and talk slowly because now without Twitter we have a lot
Tweets.
more
we got,
time.
We got 8 minutes.
I understand regularly you bike long distances in the name of diabetes.
Of curing it. Of
curing
it,
diabetes.
Right. I'm not encouraging it. I don't want to give that impression away. No, once a year
Uh-huh.
I do a big ride up in Napa called a Tour de Cure,
Uh-huh.
put on by the American Diabetes Association. 50 miles, or I mean, they do. You can bike 25 miles. You can bike 50 miles. You can bike 100 miles. I can't bike 100 miles. I'm pretty sure.
What's the longest you've biked?
It was 64. We did about
64.
64 miles last year, and it nearly killed us. We did 50 this year, and it also nearly killed me because I was in serious pain Sunday night when we finished.
Right. More pain than the previous year at 64?
Yeah, probably about the same.
Are you
But
getting,
there was more wind this year. There's a lot more wind
Oh,
this year.
okay.
So I think it was
but
harder.
half of it would have been a tailwind.
No, surprisingly not.
Because
Because during the day, the wind changes direction
and
from the morning to the afternoon, and we ended up going into it both ways.
so
Anyway, so I mean, they put this right on. It's a fundraiser. So you ask all your friends to chip in money.
in your
and-
lifetime, how much money have you raised?
This year, I have to do math. About $8,000 this year is what I raised.
Wow, that's a good
Last year, I think was around $12,000 or $10,000.
Wow.
The year before was $5,000, so maybe $20,000.
All right. So with
All
that kind of
told?
money,
I'm
should be-
surprised they still have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you keep promising me, because I get your little emails
A little email. Yeah.
once a year
Once a
saying,
year.
please support my ride.
Please support my ride.
I'm going to cure diabetes this year for sure.
For sure.
And then the next year I get another email. So
I have done all that I can.
where's this money going? Is it going to the American
Diabetes Association, a recognized 501c3
Uh-huh.
charity.
And what do they do with all
fund
this money?
research.
Research?
They support people with diabetes that need help. Raise
So-
awareness.
uh-huh.
Work on, equity issues for people with diabetes. Recently, they run a couple big cases in California.
Is there a stigma
where-
with diabetes?
There's both stigma, and until recently, if you were in a school in California and had diabetes, you couldn't inject insulin. Only the school nurse could inject insulin.
That seems
But that's
crazy.
terrible because a lot of schools don't have nurses.
Kids
And so
who have
kids
it
would
know how to
essentially
do
be
it.
having to deal with diabetic episodes at school. And now they're allowed to have other people help them inject.
Good, good.
It's a lot of things. They do a lot of things.
So it's not true that you have biked for nothing.
It's not true that I biked for nothing.
Although I think you have biked for nothing.
I have biked for on a lot of days I do bike for
the
nothing.
way I understand it, that after you get the pledges from your friends,
Yes.
and you go to Napa,
Yes.
if you don't ride your bike, everyone's supposed to give you the money anyway.
Well, they've already done it. They've already
Yeah.
given the money. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no backsies.
Yeah, so you don't need to actually do the biking.
Well, but I'm going to. I've made a commitment.
Oh, that reminds me, where's my postcard?
It's in my house.
Your house?
Yeah.
I gave you money. I
Yes.
sponsored you on this trip.
You did.
For the express reason
Yes.
that you would mail me a postcard from Napa.
And we're going to do that.
You're going to go back to Napa?
We're going to go back to Napa so we can mail the postcards. We had some trouble finding postcards because when we got there, we couldn't find a place that sold postcards. That was open.
Really?
Yeah. Went to like 2 drugstores. They're like, oh, we don't sell postcards.
Oh.
I eventually bought postcards at a hardware store while on the bike ride.
Okay.
And then I got to fill them out, and then I got to put stamps on them. I got to mail them.
Last month on the show,
Last month on the show.
we had Shirley Brown,
Yes.
an African lady.
Yes.
When my dental hygiene lady was on the show,
Yes.
Detrium, her name is,
Yes.
another African lady.
Yes.
We had-
African American.
We had a barista, I don't know, I haven't checked the papers. We had a barista on the show, Michelle,
Yes.
and she's African. So clearly I am not racist.
Well, no, that's not clear, but let's stipulate that. We can stipulate that.
But diabetes is racist, isn't it? Because I understand it affects people of African descent more than other people. True or false?
Statistically, I think it's a little more common in African Americans than in the population as a whole.
Is that because of culture and diet or something physical about them?
Well, there is some genetic component to diabetes, so it could be part of that. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know.
You're not a doctor?
I am not a doctor, people.
Weren't you in pre-med? Weren't you going to be a doctor?
I was going to be pre-med, and then I got to organic chemistry.
And you didn't like it?
I could not remember the names of carbon rings with hydrocarbons hanging off them to save my life, and I said, I don't need this kind of stress. And I went into computer science, because you have to remember stuff in computer science.
Well, you have to remember how to
Like 4 things.
add
like
in
how to add
binary
one.
and add in 16s and
Yeah, that's easy.
Add different
You
ways.
can figure that out again.
yeah.
Yeah.
So to avoid diabetes, you want to stay healthy, like stay fit, exercise.
Stay fit.
You want to watch your diet.
Yes.
So avoid sugars, right?
Avoid, in particular, wild swings and
Okay.
excesses of sugars in your bloodstream.
I'm being told we're out of time.
Yeah.
We had 2 shots coming toward me. So, so yeah, avoid sugars and
And generally stay healthy.
stay healthy.
Fats too. I mean,
Fats
fats
too?
don't. It all
Okay.
turns into sugar
okay.
in your small intestine.
All right. Well, great show. So our next show is June 12th, and Flag Day is June 14th. Don't forget to buy your friend a flag.
Flag
Stay
Day.
tuned for the better part special after this. It's a special, and then what's the bleep after that? All right. Great show, Keith. High five.
Music didn't happen.
No, but I timed it so at the end of the credits it is exactly 29:30. So I'm going to cut all this
28:30.
out.
28:30.